Welcome to the place where we learn about and learn from the leaders in our field who are powering creativity. I'm Aaron Dworkin, and this is Arts Engines. Just a heads up, everyone, that my new book, Lessons in Gratitude, a memoir on race, the arts, and mental health, published by the University of Michigan Press, is now available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. I encourage you to check it out. Thanks again for joining me here on Arts Engines. Today's guest is Laia Pujol Rovira, who serves as the Assistant Director for the Center for Innovation and Community Impact at the Colburn School. Laia, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm so excited to talk with you today. And obviously, the Colburn School is one of our phenomenal creative partners here on the show. But one of the aspects that's kind of under your purview relates to arts education programs and I think the Jumpstart program, so which I'd love to talk with you about. But first, I was just wondering if you could kind of share what is the scope of your work? What falls under an assistant director over innovation and community impact?
Sure. So we have two main areas in our department. One would be all the work with our community, with our schools, hospitals, community centers nearby, and also international partners that we may have that we work in the same direction in terms of democratizing access to performing arts and classical music education. The other one would be more in the career development side, and we provide resources around our conservatory students to make sure that they fully develop as artists, but also socially engaged citizens. So we help them widen their horizons of what can I do with a music degree.
Oh, that is so, so important. And so, could you kind of share a little bit more about the Jumpstart program and also your kind of thoughts about reaching especially underserved communities?
Of course, yes. So the Jumpstart project is the last step in a four stages pipeline of learning that's beautifully designed by Dr. Nate Sadler, who's now the provost in the Colburn School. This pipeline of learning serves as a way to approach to our community in a more meaningful way. So we start with just going to their schools and providing concerts to the kids in the elementary school. The second stage is bringing these kids to Colburn and opening our halls and our artists for them to experience how it's to listen music in an auditorium. The third step is a summer camp that we invite 60 of these kids in our partner schools to spend 2 full weeks with our artists, with our faculty in our campus, which is super intense and also so much fun. And then from these 60 kids, we handpick in a very special process the 12 to 15 that, you know, it's not only about talent, it's some kind of curiosity, passion, just this little spark for the arts. And we provide them with a full ride scholarship, which is the Jumpstart Scholarship. And that means that they start when they are 10 years old. We are committed to keeping providing this scholarship for as long as they want until they graduate from high school. So that means from 10 to almost 18 years old, with as much care and resources and support as we can to make sure that they can thrive as artists if they want to. And so we have scholarships in music, in dance, and in drama. We use the facilities as if they were just regular students, and everything we do is kind of hold their hands and say, you belong here, you are welcome here. Just make sure that you take advantage of this opportunity, with support for the family and support for the student, and make sure that the teachers know how special these kids are because they've been through all this pipeline and they've been able to make it until the last stage.
That's well, so, and I love the way you kind of outlined the stages and the steps of that process. So, in other words, not just going on community and being like, oh, just come here to Colburn and everything will be fine, but bringing through the stages. As you look at the program, and especially you look at young people and those who kind of go on this trajectory. So many people in our audience do, right, this work that where they're so passionate about young people. What I'm wondering is, from your experiences, have you found that here are one or two of the what I think are the most important things we're able to provide? In other words, if we provide this as Colburn, at Colburn, we find that that has the greatest impact on young people's success moving forward. Are there kind of core components that you would suggest anyone watching, this should be part of what you do?
I would say for me, number one is supporting the whole family because the kids are not going to come on their own. They need someone to take them to campus. The kids are not going to remember to practice trumpet every day. They need a dad or a mom or a sibling that is reminding them. And very soon you realize that the transformation is not just for the kid, but it kind of permeates throughout the whole family. And to me, making sure that I understand what's the family situation. Do they have a car or they come by public transportation? Can they afford public transportation? Is he sharing room with other siblings and therefore maybe that it makes it difficult to practice because they don't have a space for their own? Do they have a music stand? Because sometimes we come from a classical music world and we take some things for granted. And so I spend most of my day understanding the families. That would be my number one. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely love that. And that kind of sense of integration, and that the child's part of a familial unit, and that the impact goes also for the child as well as to the entirety of the family. So, as you've kind of been involved in this program, students who, of course, come through, any either kind of key aspects that you've seen of what students have then been able to go on and do? In other words, as you look at any kind of key examples you might want to share, but also kind of, are you able to see the difference of what their trajectory otherwise would have been without the benefit of this partnership with Colburn?
Yes, I would say we have a few rock stars in the program. I'm thinking about this bassoonist who went with a full ride to Oberlin, and now he's with a full ride doing his master's at USC. That's for sure a rock star. But besides that, there are all the other kids. And what I would highlight is that music is part of their life, regardless. We have some students that choose to study music, some others don't, and they do biomedicine or sociology or political science, but they all treasure music in their life as something that they will never forget, and experience that they try to replicate in their colleges through clubs, through community choirs, community bands, with their friends. And the most interesting thing is most of the students are so ready to give back to Colburn because they will come back as a counselors for the third step, as I told you, the summer camp. All of our counselors are previous Jumpstart scholars. So, and they are so ready to give back. They are just grateful for the opportunity, and as I said, they love music, they love Colburn, and they are always wonderful as mentors and counselors.
Well, that's awesome. It's such an extraordinary program, and obviously an extraordinary place. So unfortunately, we are just about out of time, but I always like to ask of all my guests, this work obviously so fulfilling, and I can see, from your expression, especially working with young people and seeing that impact. But with all of the organization and coordination, there's got to be tough days. And just wondering, as an arts leader, as an administrative leader, any key approaches you use for the tough times, for tough days where it seems like there are, challenges that can't be overcome, things that you do?
I try to focus on the positive, and I try to remember about these cases, how grateful they are, and how they understand the importance of keeping young kids engaged with the same opportunities they have. Sometimes I will open my phone and scroll to old messages from that parent or that student that just graduated and sends you a cute message. And I think that's what keeps me bright and happy and committed and never tired of doing what we do.
Laia Pujol Rovira, you truly are one of the arts engines who is powering human creativity in our world. Thank you so much for everything you do, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Just a heads up, everyone, that my new book, Lessons in Gratitude, a memoir on race, the arts, and mental health, published by the University of Michigan Press, is now available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. I encourage you to check it out.